Hi guys, it is April from Getting Hookah With It. I am here to chat about authors that I would love to read more from. That I don't know if there are any more books coming out by these authors. Nothing is on the horizon, according to publishers, I don't think, and that needs to change. So let's get into it. I did another video about authors who've only written one book that I really want them to come out with more, whether they've come out recently or it was a while back. I want more from those authors. I will link that video in the description box below. But as I was doing that video, I was like, oh, but I would like to read more by this author and that author. And these people might have had, you know, several books come out already. But I just need more, and I don't know if they are going to come up with more, and this is very distressing. So let's dive right into some of these authors. First up is Kathleen Grissom. She wrote The Kitchen House. She also wrote Glory Over Everything. She writes amazing historical fiction. Those two books are like a duo. I don't know if there are plans to include more in that series. I think it's just a duo. But The Kitchen House, it all starts with The Kitchen House. It follows two women, young women, Lavinia, who comes over from Ireland with her family, who all die on the ship over, and she's taken in by a slave owner in the south of America in the turn of the 19th century, and she's there to live on a tobacco plantation in Virginia, and she's there to help the slaves, and she lives with the slaves. So we also follow Belle, who is the master's illegitimate black daughter, and it's about her story as well as Lavinia's story. This has so much plot. This is heavy, heavy, heavy on the plot. It's when you're having a breath from like one thing going on, it goes right into another thing, and it's just, there's no stopping it, and you just turn the pages so fast. And she is a wonderful writer of historical fiction. She did a lot of research for this. I just absolutely loved this book, and I want Kathleen Grissom to write a lot more, like lots. So get on that, Kathleen. Next is, I mean, we're all waiting, right? We are all waiting for another Gillian Flynn. She has written, what is it, like 4 books? And this is her most recent one, Gone Girl. When did this come out? 2012. Come on, Gillian. That's 8 years ago. Now, I have heard that she is working on something, but there's no like sign that this is going to come out. Now, I know that she has also been really busy with writing movie scripts and TV scripts. Like, I think she helped to write or wrote the Sharp Objects miniseries on HBO. So there's that. She is busy, but I need more books by her because she's so gritty, and all of these thrillers are just, she's just my favorite thriller author, and she always will be. I adore Gillian Flynn, and we need more. We need more. Let me know in the comments below if you've heard of anything, whether she is going to come out with something soon. Like, even if I knew it was coming out in 2021, I'd be like, okay, I can do that. I can wait. I can be patient. Not really, but I can try. The next book is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This is World War II historical fiction about two people, Werner, who is German, and he's a young man in Germany, and he's really good with radios, and so he's kind of recruited by the Nazis to work for them. And then we follow Marie-Laure, and she lives in France, and she is blind, and it follows the occupation of France as well, and these two stories interlink. It's so good. He wrote this, and it took him 10 years to write it. So I'm not assuming he's going to come out with anything else very soon. This came out in 2014. So we'll see if he does come out with anything soon. I would love that because he's a beautiful writer, and you can appreciate how much time he took to write it because it's so rich. It's so rich. But we'll see. Next is Celeste Ng. This is Little Fires Everywhere. There's a whole mini series on Hulu that I've been dying to watch, but we don't get Hulu in Canada. Very upsetting. Sometimes other channels like Showcase or something will buy the series. So that's what I'm hoping. But this came out in 2017. You know, I know that Celeste Ng will come out with more. This is not, you know, I'm not worried that she won't come out with more, but there hasn't been any buzz about her working on anything, I don't think. So I would love for Celeste Ng to write more. I love this book. Her other book, Everything You Want Me to Be, Everything I Never Told You. I can't remember what it's called now. I didn't love that one, but I adored this. So always ready for another Celeste Ng. And then, okay, so this next one, I'm very confused. Liz Nugent has written a few books, and I think there is one right now that is out in the UK, but is not out in Canada or America, and I don't understand. It's like the UK is a year or two ahead of Canada for getting her stuff. And she is a wonderful thriller author where the characters push the stories forward. He is just so good at that, because with thrillers you always think the plot has to move the story forward, and they're always plot based, but she you know, hauls that into question and writes such dark, twisted characters. This one follows Oliver, who has put his wife in a coma. You know that from the get-go, and you go backwards in time and learn about the development of his character and how he got to that point. He is not a likable character, I will say that. Another author that I haven't heard of anything coming out from her is Sarah Waters. Now, I have tons of her backlist that I can get through. I have The Paying Guests somewhere on my shelves, and that's her most recent book. But I really love her writing. The Little Stranger, I read a couple of years ago, and it floored me. She is a very gothic writer. She writes queer stories, and I love them so much. She's a beautiful writer, and I'd love for more Sarah Waters. Have you heard anything about a new Sarah Waters coming out? Please say yes. Next is Ian Reid. I'm thinking of ending things by him. I have Foe. He is a thriller writer who writes stories where you don't know what in the world is going on until the very end. So you are going to be confused for a while, but they're short, so you can hang in there. They're fascinating while you're reading them too. You want to know what is happening, but you are questioning the entire time until the very end. And then he just blows you away with the ending. And so I don't know if he's coming out with anything new soon. He came out with Foe, I think it was 2019. I loved it. But I don't know if he's coming out with anything else soon. I'd love for him to. This one is probably my favorite of the two. I'm Thinking of Ending Things follows a woman who's on a road trip with her boyfriend. They're going to meet his family, but she's thinking of ending things. At the same time, she keeps getting calls that she puts to voicemail, and there are these creepy messages being left. And it is meant to be slightly confusing because you just have to read it. So good. Please, more Ian Reid, please. Next is Kate Morton. Now, I have one more book of hers that I need to read. It's on my spring TBR. It's The House of Riverton. And then I have no more. I will have read all of Kate Morton. And this cannot be so because I need to read a Kate Morton every spring. Like, this is what I do. And I won't have anything else. And I haven't heard of her coming out with anything. She came out with The Clockmaker's Daughter, I think in 2019. I didn't love that one, if I'm being honest. But I usually really love her. She's someone who writes historical fiction where she goes backwards in time. She flashes back and forward. So you meet a person, you always, it's kind of formulaic in a way, but in the coziest, most comforting of ways, where you meet a person in the present who is digging up the past and the mysteries of the past. And there's always like big grand homes. It's got a bit of a gothic element to it, and I adore her. Please, Kate, be writing something because I adore you. And last but not least is Laura Hillenbrand. She wrote Unbroken. She also wrote, what in the world is that called? She wrote a horse racing story. Oh, Seabiscuit. And I haven't read that one, so I could technically go back. But Unbroken came out quite a while ago. Now, she is someone like Anthony Doerr who takes a long time to write. So this came out in 2010. It's been 10 years, and it usually takes her about 10 years to write a book because she does so much research. This is nonfiction about Louis Zamperini, who was an Olympian, and he ends up going to World War II, fighting for America, and his plane goes down. Like, he just had a huge, crazy life, and it really is about his resilience. It says a World War II story of survival, resilience, and redemption, and that is exactly what it is. It's so good. And I haven't heard whether or not she's coming up with a new one. I follow her on Instagram, and sadly, this poor woman had COVID-19 and really had a hard time with it. Like, some people who get it have fairly mild symptoms of it, but she has really, really struggled with it. So we are all sending our love to Laura Hillenbrand. We hope that you get better soon. I'm sure she's on the mend by the time this goes up, but I adore her writing. She is a master at what she does. Like, she takes her books really seriously and does so much research. Oh my gosh, this woman. So I don't know though if she's coming out with anything else soon. Like, we're due, right? 10 years? We're due. Let me know in the comments below if there is an author that you would love to get more books from, that you don't know whether or not they're actually going to be writing anything else anytime soon. Show them some love and leave that in the comments below. In the description box below, I'm getting a lot better. I have there my Amazon wish list. I have my Goodreads page. I've got my Instagram, so you can go and follow me all over the place. I hope you guys are doing really well, and I will talk with you soon. Bye, guys.